depending on where you are in the world. If you're here, as always, say hi so I know that you're here. We're gonna do this new series called Crypto Walk and Talk in Dubai. Now, this is gonna be our first episode, and as the new cycle has started, we're gonna do these several times a week and talk, basically, discuss what's going on. A while ago on my walks, just like we used to back in 2017, 2018, but just now we're going to be doing it in Dubai. So if you're here, say hello, drop a like, share the live so that more people can join. A lot of pigeons there. Don't know if you can see. A lot of pigeons. How's everybody doing? Put a like if you're here, please. Soft Pat, hey, this is a blast from the past. Remember when you were walking in the snow back in 2017? Yeah, absolutely. Wilson, Randy Wilson, good to see you too. Hey there, Warren, good to see you too. I'm having a great weekend, thank you. How are you guys doing? Hope all is well. Anyway, let's just have a quick live about what's going on in crypto. What happened in the last cycle and the current cycle, what's happening right now, right? So, you know, last cycle, everything pretty much went exactly the same, the way we expected it to go. The usual things, what do I mean by that? That Bitcoin had a roughly 80% crash. It was 78% where we bought. Alts dropped anywhere from 70 to 90% where we bought. Then stock indexes went to new highs. Bitcoin followed, went to new highs. Stock indexes followed, went to new highs. Some stocks followed, went to new highs. And what was supposed to happen is that many, well, not many, but some altcoins were supposed to go to new highs and or pump very well. Well, some altcoins did pump, and we took profits with anything that did pump. The only problem was, unfortunately, that most coins did nothing. That was the only thing that was different this cycle around. So the trend that has obviously developed due to the fact that there are now tens of millions coins that are getting rugged on a daily basis. The problem obviously is that the space is very diluted and needs a washout. We spoke about this ever since 2017, that there would be a lot more coins around. And even in the last cycle, my mistake was thinking that we're going to get an altcoin run where some altcoins would pump before we would get basically before we reach the end of the cycle. I was mistaken about that. Unfortunately, what happened was that metals run before alts ran, and my expectations were that alts are going to run and then metals will wake up, and that will be basically a warning for everyone to get out of the markets. Well, all that happened except the part where basically more altcoins were supposed to pump hard. Either way, I sucked it up, locked in profit, because I believe in roughly 4-year cycles until they disappear. Once again, this time around, Bitcoin reached roughly 4 years and started crashing. Just like other altcoins that reached that mark and did pump. So I sold for a profit to make sure I don't round trip, and I got out. There were a few coins that did very well, like Floki. The funny thing is that memes killed the space, in a sense, until it's going to get revived. But Floki was my best performer, which is a meme coin. But anyway, we reached a point basically where there's going to be a major washout, and the new cycle has begun. If you were my patron, you know that we sold everything, well, 90%, almost everything, pretty much everything except the high risk coins, which I still hold, not because I think that they're going to do something, but just in case some kind of miracle happens to prove me wrong so I can take more profits, as explained earlier on. But if you weren't Patreon, you know, I stuck to my theory of roughly 4-year cycles. We reached roughly 4-year cycles. Bitcoin started crashing. I saw that Ethereum is doing nothing, that instead of breaking to new highs, it's making lower lows. That metals are waking up, and literally time is running out. So we sold 90% when Bitcoin was trading at $108,000 and XRP was at $2.85. Now they're both significantly lower. Bitcoin went to something like 78K, and XRP has already struck roughly 155. I personally believe that they're both going to go lower. There's more room for them to go lower. The reason being the same as always, you know, once we reach four-year cycles, After 4 years, there are certain percentage drops, and these percentage drops are nowhere near as big as they have been in the past. Yes, maybe the crashes are diminishing and becoming smaller, just like the returns are diminishing and becoming smaller. But even if that's the case, there's still a lot of room for both Bitcoin and altcoins to drop. Just because many altcoins are at all-time lows, that means absolutely nothing. These are poor performers, except unfortunately, last cycle, 99% of altcoins were all poor performers. And there's proof from all other cycles where coins were their all-time lows and did absolutely nothing. And years down the road, 8 years later, they've still done nothing and will do nothing. They're basically running dry. Just because there are many altcoins that are at lows doesn't mean that they're going to do something. Most of them will still do nothing. It's just unfortunate to the truth. I've always talked about even the coins that we trade that they're complete garbage. That the whole point of every single coin is to catch a bounce and sell it before it crashes again. I'm not the kind of person that believes in utility and use cases. I believe in buying low and selling high, and preferably buying even lower and selling higher. And even when the plan didn't work out perfectly, as I keep saying, perfection is a lie, profits are real. I was still locked in the profits, made sure I don't round trip the cycle, and got out. Unlike many people that were calling for a top, many YouTubers, many content creators that were calling for a Bitcoin top at 36K or 60K or 70K or 100K, I only called for the top at 108K once in the cycle, and that's it, I'm out. Yeah, that one call. No attempt to keep trying to catch the top, but yeah, that basically don't ever try to catch the top. That's another thing. Don't try to catch the bottom either. So what we're going to concentrate on now is wait for the crashes to develop. There will be bounces. There will be some bounces, I'm pretty sure, where people will start doubting that basically we are crashing down into the accumulation zone, where people will believe that we're going to fly to new highs, and people will get trapped. So I'm going to make sure I'm not getting trapped, waiting for the crash to become big enough to start accumulating. Very important, once it gets to the point where we start accumulating, not try to try to catch the bottom. My friends over there had to say hi to them. Very important not to try and catch the bottom, because catching the bottom is close to impossible. Even though last cycle, for example, when we bought Bitcoin at 17K, the bottom was at 15.6K, and then we bought some at 22 and 25, stuff like that. The point I'm trying to make is you don't need to try and catch the bottom, just buy low. That's it. You buy low, temporarily you're at a loss. If you're able to add some more, you add some more, you wait for the market to recover, you hold for several years, you sell for whatever the price is, getting rid of price targets. So basically, price targets is definitely something we're going to be getting rid of. No more price targets, only entry targets, and then we hold for years and we sell whatever pumps. I personally believe that a lot less coins should be accumulated now, since most of this garbage is going to get washed out. I do believe that XRP and Bitcoin are some of the coins that need to be accumulated, and accumulated heavily. These are definitely going to be my biggest players, but I will be adding some other coins too that have done something every single cycle, that have delivered every single cycle. And I believe basically coins generally with strong communities will survive the washout that's coming. So that's what I'm waiting for. All the technicals out there, once again, if you're on my Patreon, you look at the charts, the reasoning, the things that I explain, everything points to a fact that, roughly 4 years in, last cycle finished, new cycle, we're crashing. Just a few weeks ago, a month ago, people were telling me that I sold the bottom, we're going to fly to new highs. Well, we're not flying to new highs. The market is crashing, and despite bounces, I think it's going to crash further. And I think that's a good thing. If you sold with me, when Bitcoin was at 108K and XRP at 285, if you sold 90% of your portfolio there, I think you should be happy about it, because now you didn't round trip the last cycle. Yes, we made much less profits than in all other cycles, but we still made profits. And given how terrible the last cycle was, we still outperformed enormously, because unfortunately many haven't even made any money whatsoever. So that's my biggest fear. It's always been my biggest fear, to round trip a cycle, because compound interest, yeah, right? That's what's important. So yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to say. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to, basically ignore all the bounces. I'm going to ignore all the bullish narratives. And once it gets truly scary out there, and once we start getting into the accumulation zone, where basically very few experienced individuals want to buy, once we're there, that's where I'm going to start buying, without trying to catch the bottom. And yeah, every single time I buy, as I promised, I'll be posting on Patreon what I bought, why I bought it, and yeah, the moment I sell anything, as always, it will be posted on Patreon too. I'll leave a link to Patreon in my comments below, as always, if you want to join. Otherwise, what can I say? Just be patient and wait. Whatever you're doing, measure risk and reward. Always measure risk and reward. Sure, like I said earlier on, maybe it's even still possible that Bitcoin can go to 150K new high and can be proven wrong. Even if I'm proving wrong, the risk and reward is not worth it. Risk and reward is much more favorable for bulls after major crashes. You're a lot better off buying after major crashes, and that's when you know that you can allocate a lot of money into the market, so you don't feel scared, basically. At least I don't. That my experience has taught me to never feel scared after pumps. To take profits, I feel scared to buy. That's why I don't. So I feel much better off. I feel much more comfortable buying major crashes. And the deeper the crash becomes, allocating more and more and dollar cost averaging at new lows, preferably with equal amounts of money, when everything is doom and gloom and it looks very risky and terrible and bad. So what I would recommend also is to stop using price targets in this current cycle. It's something, like I told you, right? I've been keeping track of price targets of all major YouTubers and TA experts, including myself. And the success rate is very low. That's why I always use this rule, also saying whatever your price target is, divided by 2 or 3 and take partial profits on the way up, because most of these price targets never come true. They get a lot of people excited and hopeful, but they don't actually do much for your portfolio. So the best thing that you can do is just await crashes, dollar cost average in, accumulate quality projects with big communities, and just hold for years and wait. And whatever the price is, several years down the road, sell, take profits, wait for a crash again, without trying to, sell at a certain price. It doesn't matter. Like, for example, XRP this time around, I was selling on the whole way up, little by little, and then sold everything when it was at 285, right? The whole portfolio. I was not trying to catch the top. I was just trying to put profits in my pocket, and that's what I'll be doing with every single coin. Yeah, and that's that. I'll be accumulating a lot more Bitcoin, as I mentioned before, so I'll be going a lot heavier into Bitcoin. Probably 50% of my portfolio will consist of Bitcoin. Probably like 25% will be XRP, and the other 25% will probably be divided between like 5 other coins, once again, that have done something in every single cycle. I'll be sharing what those coins are once we get to the accumulation zone. We're not there yet. I know people are buying the dip. I know there's this silly rule in the crypto, buy the dip, buy the dip. I always say don't buy the dip, buy the crash. The crash is already developing. Unfortunately, it always takes time and patience for it to develop. There's always a lot of emotion involved, and a lot of people don't have the patience. Don't be one of those people. Be patient. Use your experience you've had in crypto all these years. And buy quality projects. And I know basically a lot of Bitcoiners don't like XRP people, and XRP people don't like Bitcoiners. For me, it doesn't matter. All jokes aside, we can make jokes and all that. Both are quality projects that throughout the years have proven that they constantly deliver in every single cycle. We're not talking about new highs, none of that. We're just talking about the ROI returns. And Bitcoin has done well in every single cycle. XRP has done well in every single cycle. So, you can hate whichever project you want. It's all up to you. But if you want to make money, just, invest in what makes money. It's as simple as that. And both these projects have proven to be quality and pump well. Let's see what people are saying. Richard Soar saying, hi Rob from the UK, loving this financial disaster. Yeah, I'm definitely not happy about people losing money, but I'm happy to see that we're basically in the development stage of getting to the accumulation zone. Warren Taylor is asking me, what do you think the price of XRP will be in 2030? I have no idea, and I'm not going to make any price predictions. I'm just going to go with the cyclical behavior of XRP and other coins and just buy after big crashes and sell after nice pumps, whatever they are, in roughly 4 years again. And that's another thing I want to talk about, right? We have so many people that were basically making fun of the roughly 4-year cycle. You know me, I stick to the 4-year cycle and I will keep sticking into it until it's proven wrong. Once again, we reached roughly 4 years and the market started dropping. And you know, a lot of people sold after 4 years, roughly 4 years into the cycle, using other technical analysis. And I've called out even some YouTubers who made fun of people like me and others using these silly reasons, using whatever you want to use basically TA-wise, when it's as simple as that. How about move all of that nonsense to the side and just admit we're roughly 4 years in again, market is dropping. So again, you know, no super cycles, not working out, and the rest of that claptrap basically. The point I'm trying to make once again, whether or not we like it, we'll have to look at facts. Roughly 4 years in, Bitcoin tops, starts crashing. That's it. Simple as that. Went from 126K to 78K already, and then we'll go lower. So it's something you just need to pay attention to and be aware of. You know, and yeah, just basically, it's also very important, my friends. Whatever you're doing, make sure that you're keeping track of things yourself without constantly listening to people you think that are very good. There are some people who called the top at 126, but these same people called the top at 70K and 50K and 36K, and we're telling you that there are going to be no Bitcoin highs and no Ethereum highs, and that the S&P 500 topped out at a certain price. I don't remember what it is, but it went much higher, did like twice or three times the price, or that the gold is about to fall off a cliff at $1,600, let's say 2,000 or 3,000, and it went, and you saw how high it went. So the point I'm trying to make is, yes, some people maybe got the top right now, but don't forget that they called for the top like 3, 5, sometimes even 10 times, right? So if you keep calling for a top, eventually you'll be right. Doesn't mean that you're good at calling tops. And if you call for a bottom, eventually you'll be right. Doesn't mean you're good at calling bottoms. The point I'm trying to make is, all you need to do is buy low, sell high, right? So buying, for example, Bitcoin when we're buying at 25K was good enough, and fully exiting the market with 90%, and 108K was good enough. You don't need to buy the bottom or sell the top. Get rid of these fantasies. Use your experience. Just buy low, sell high. That's it. So right now, what we need to concentrate on when the market crashes hard enough, just buy low enough. Temporarily, we'll all be at a loss. This happens every single cycle. It's fine. Just add more. If there's a further dip, add more if it dips further, and just wait and sit on your hands, and eventually market recovery starts going up little by little. That's my main focus right now. Control emotions, wait for good entries. RPM says Ponzi till regs simple. Yeah, it's kind of true. It's kind of true. It's all a Ponzi until regulations, and even with the regulations, you know, it will always be there'll be some cheating involved. But yeah, I fully agree with you. I've always said this. Every single coin I ever bought, I also think they're just pump and dumps. Not that anyone is pumping and dumping them. I mean that the market is at the point where the main utility of these great coins with use cases, or meme coins that outperform many utility tokens, is that they pump and dump. And now we got to a point where most of them don't even pump, you know, which is bad, unfortunately. I'm not laughing at anyone or anything. I'm just saying it's ridiculous, because many of my coins didn't pump either. But you know, the portfolio together did well enough for me to sell in a decent profit, given how terrible the cycle was last time, and get out and make sure that I have profits to rotate in this new cycle that's currently developing. Yeah, I think that's that, my friends. We're 19 minutes in. I'm gonna start heading home to see my girls. If you got some questions you want to ask, shoot. I'll see what I can say. Also, one thing that I want to say, guys, right? Stop getting excited about price predictions, right? So basically, there are a lot of good GE experts that made a lot of good points, including me, why XRP was supposed to go. Well, for me, $7 to $13. Some predicted 20. I don't know. Some predicted 15. Respect them all, and a lot of them had very good points. I was convinced that using the same TE I was using, that my points were very valid. Nobody got it right. Absolutely nobody. Not a single person. So the way, once again, to be right and do well is to just buy big crashes, hold for years, and start laddering out and taking partial profits on the way up, and not rotating those profits until there's a major crash again. That's it. Without trying to predict basically what the price is going to be in 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, or 10 years. Just buy low, sell high, make money, rotate. Damon is saying, I'm ignoring the XRP price questions. I'm actually not ignoring them. I just read your question and I just answered that. Also, I'm not giving price targets for XRP or anything else, and I suggest you don't listen to anybody who's giving you any price targets as of today, because anybody that gave you any price targets before was wrong. Literally name anybody, they've all been wrong, and they'll continue to be wrong. It's as simple as that. Like I told you, I've kept stats of the biggest profiles, including me. The success rate of getting price targets is something like 5%. It's terrible. It's terrible. Basically, it's exciting. It gets views. It gets people going. You know, it gets people riled up and excited. It gets a lot of clicks and views, and it's good for monetization for the content creators, but it doesn't do much for you as an investor. Yeah. So you know, that's that. Eric, that's basically once again how high do I think XRP will go question, you know? So I'm not going to touch that. All I'm going to say is that if you have good money to unload, wait for the market to crash lower when it gets really scary, when the percentage drop is good enough. You know, something like roughly 65 to 75%, somewhere in that, without trying to catch the bottom. Just start buying quality projects with big quality communities that will stick around even if there's a major wipeout, you know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. And then whatever the price is, sell once it's up in several years, and it'll be much easier for you to sell if all these years you haven't been basically programming your brain for a certain price target. It will get a lot easier just to sell. If you weren't trying to predict the price, you were just waiting for a good pump, and then you sell for whatever the price is. Damon, I agree. Nobody in the space, including Raul Paul, has a clue what they're talking about. Absolutely. Respect the guy. He's a great guy. He seems like a very nice and genuine dude. The problem is he said a lot of things that have been wrong throughout the years. Very bad at predicting the markets. Just what it is. If he was a genius and he was amazing, trust me, I'd be here saying he's a genius and he's amazing. Let's all listen to him and make a lot of money. Go subscribe. Listen, he's the best, right? Why wouldn't I say that if that's the case? Unfortunately, it's not the case. When you find a wizard like that, please let me know. I will go learn from them to become better and richer. Unfortunately, you know, I've been in this market. Well, I've been here since 2016, but really active since 2017, and went public in 2018. Unfortunately, to this day, I haven't found a single wizard or somebody who has a very good success rate. They don't exist. So all you need to do is just wait for a drop, buy what you like. If you get a bigger drop, buy some more, wait for a pump, sell. That's it. All right, my friends, I'll talk to you later. 23 minutes in, I'm going to go inside. Love you. Like, subscribe, and share, please. Bye-bye. Catch you later.